Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 26 of the Casually Avid Gamer Plays Minecraft. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I had asked last episode, I don't remember if it was the Let's Play episode or the Minecraft Mini, what people thought about all this long grass. And the consensus was kind of get rid of it, because especially in here, it's awfully busy. And I kind of agree. So that's going to have to go. Now, I have to apologize because my channel, the schedule on it's been a little wonky this week, in case you haven't noticed. We didn't do a Minecraft Mini, and this episode of the Casually Avid Gamer Plays Minecraft is going to be a little different. And the reason why everything was kind of wonky was this last weekend, well, Wednesday through Sunday, I was at a convention. It's a convention called Gen Con, and it's a tabletop gaming convention. So things like pen and paper RPGs, board games, card games, things of that nature. I went there. It was a 4-day convention, and oh, it was a blast. But while I was there, that was all of the time I normally have to record, and I got none of that. So I wasn't able to do any of this, and so I don't have any Minecraft episodes ready for you guys. Now, I was able to get 7 Days to Die episodes out, and the reason I could do that is simply that it takes a lot less work to get out a 7 Days to Die episode. Minecraft episodes are really, really labor intensive. There's a lot of stuff I do off camera because, you guys, I don't think necessarily want to watch me just dig, and that's what a lot of it is. So it probably takes maybe 10 times longer. I probably put 10 times more time and effort into a Minecraft video than a similar length 7 Days to Die video. I like the 7 Days to Die videos, don't get me wrong, and the fact that it's easier to put out content for it is one of the reasons why I'm actually doing a Let's Play on it. But I am doing this in the middle of the week when I'm trying to squeeze it in. So I thought what I'd do is I'd just tell you a little bit about my weekend at Gen Con, because it was an absolute blast. Now, for those of you who don't know, there is a world of gaming around your table beyond Monopoly, Clue, Stratego, and all of that. There's just this wide world of really awesome experiences that you can have just sitting around a table playing with your friends. And it's amazing. And that is kind of the primary way that me and most of my buddies, socialize around. If we get together, we're probably playing games. And then you just hang out, you talk, and you shoot the breeze, you make fun of each other. And it's just a blast. And Gen Con this year, this is my 4th year now going to Gen Con. And it has been amazing every year. I've had a blast every year. Every time I leave, I'm already looking forward to the next year. But I would have to say this year is probably, this last one I went to is probably my favorite of all time. It was just an absolute blast. So let's talk about it a little bit. I didn't do anything too terribly crazy. Me and my 2 of my buddies, who are usually the ones who go, we play a couple of games that we don't really have the option to play during the year. Let's see. Can we make it over? Yes. We try to get in a few sessions of the Pathfinder role-playing game. Now, the reason why we do it at Gen Con is because none of us, we don't live near each other, and none of us has a regular Pathfinder game. In my hometown, we have another RPG going, but we don't play Pathfinder. And Pathfinder's a lot of fun. And they have a lot of sessions of Pathfinder at Gen Con where you don't need to be a rules expert, where they expect beginners. They're trying to attract new players. So we always try to do a couple of sessions of that. And it was an absolute blast. My buddies who I game with, they are a lot of fun. We're always cracking jokes. We really dig kind of the story of the RPG that we're playing. We worry in a lot of ways more about that. And sometimes that actually clashes with Pathfinder players who seem to really enjoy things like min-maxing their characters and things like that. But it's still a lot of fun. We got there late Wednesday night. I drove up to my buddy's hometown and parked my car there and got to see his wife and kid. I haven't seen them in a while. And that was fun. Then he and I hopped in his car and we started driving into Indy. And we get it a little over halfway there, and he realizes he had forgotten the vast majority of his clothes, which was a surprise to me because he packed a ton of stuff, but somehow he didn't remember. I think it was probably underwear. So it was a good thing we kind of turned around and went back. But so we turned around, and we finally got back to his house, got his stuff, got back into Indianapolis, We stopped by the convention center so I could pick up all my stuff from Will Call, because I had my badge and stuff just at the Will Call table rather than having it delivered. Because I know if I had it delivered to my house, I would never, ever remember to bring it. That's beside the point. So we didn't actually make it to our hotel till about midnight, but we got checked in and it was fun, and we gamed for a little bit, and then we crashed and we got ready for the next day. The next day, our other buddy showed up, and we hit the vendor hall. Now, if you've never been to Gen Con, all of the board game vendors, or most of the major ones, have booths at Gen Con. They're running demos, they're trying to sell their new stuff, they're even trying to sell their old stuff. And the vendor hall is packed. I mean, even Thursday at like 10 a.m., the vendor hall was just nuts. But a little pro tip from Gen Con, if you think that during the day, Thursday and Friday is nuts in the vendor hall, and it is. It's really nuts. Like, it's just completely packed. Saturday during the day is far worse. And that's kind of something we learned in previous years. So I actually did most of my shopping for new games and such. I did it all on Thursday. We got the vast majority of it done on Thursday. And then, so we hit the vendor hall up for several hours, and then we went and played our first session of Pathfinder, and it was a blast. It was just a lot of fun. We were goofing off. I was playing a barbarian. I just used a pre-gen barbarian, and things went really well. They did not go well later so much. We wrapped up with the session, and the session was 5 hours long, so between the vendor hall and that was pretty much our first day. The second day, Friday, that was a bad gaming day for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a blast on Friday, but I had the worst luck gaming on Friday. We had an 8 a.m. Pathfinder session, a 5-hour one, which again is fun, and getting up at 8 a.m. is fine. I'm usually up at 5:30, 6 o'clock anyway, because I have a child who won't sleep in. But anyway, so we play this Pathfinder session, and it's I grab a different I use the same character that I did from the day before, but at a lower level because it's a different mission. And now all of a sudden, I had a barbarian who they're damage dealers. That's kind of what they do. They have a ton of hit points and they do damage. Well, when it came to things like assisting on diplomacy checks or perception skills, I rolled like a beast. 17, 18, 19, a couple of natural 20s. It was amazing. And then we get into combat. And we are in combat for probably half the session. And I kept track. I did not roll over a 7 on a 20-sided die the entire time I was in combat. Anytime I tried to make an attack. I played 5 hours with this barbarian, and I didn't do a single bit of damage. And, that was rough. And I didn't like the GM as much on the second game. He wouldn't play kind of like, with like the characterizations that the players were doing. Like, they would say, oh, my character's doing this. Or my character's doing this, just kind of playing up to their characters and kind of making it more fun, making it more colorful. Like one of the things we were in basically the Pathfinder version of a Viking village, and my barbarian was a woman who has a giant sword, an absolutely giant sword. So I just have her, put the sword over her shoulders and swagger down the middle of the street. Viking is kind of a male-dominated culture where they think they're all tough. And so I made it kind of obvious that my character wouldn't find like maybe a fist fight to be a bad thing. And the GM just ignored it. And several other characters tried to do things like that. And we just kind of got railroaded directly into the story. And so not as great a session. It was still fun. You know, I was still hanging out with my buddies who I never get to see. So, you know, it doesn't matter. Oh, there's the iron farm working. That's awesome. So yeah, that was kind of it. And then after that, we did the second thing that we always like to do at Gen Con. This place has 3 iron golems now. That's a lot. I guess this village got bigger than we wanted. This is really ugly, and I probably shouldn't show it on camera so much. But anyway. So after the Pathfinder session, you know, we got some food, and we went to play BattleTech. And I love BattleTech. It's giant robots blowing up other giant robots. I mean, what's not to like? Problem I ran into is that my luck in dice rolling had kind of carried over from my Pathfinder session. And we played a 2-hour session, and I did 4 points of damage, which is horrible. And it just didn't work. And we still had fun. It was still robots blowing up other robots. And one of my friends knocked the other one of our friends down and then kicked him with his big giant robot and sort of blew him up with that. So it was fun. And we, you know, we spend the entire time, we're just kind of, you know, making fun of each other and just shooting the breeze. So it's a lot of fun. But I'm not rolling well. And then, so we decided next day, Saturday. Saturday is the crazy day at Gen Con. Thursday and Friday aren't bad because a lot of the people just come in on the weekend. So Saturday is the kind of heaviest traffic day. So we swore that we were pretty much just going to stay out of the vendor hall. And for the most part we did. Although we had to go in, of course, to get presents. I had to pick something up for the casually avid kid. I got him some Star Wars figurines that he thinks are the business. So it was all good. One of my buddies actually found them for me. We searched the vendor hall for like 2 hours on Friday. That's the other thing we did on Friday. So Saturday we had a few more. We were going to do just 4 more hours of BattleTech, 2 more sessions, and then we were just going to go back to the hotel, grab like a conference room, and crack open all the games we got and start playing them. And that sounded like great fun. So we get done with the first session. Each session's 2 hours long, and I'm on my second mech, on my second giant robot, and I still haven't killed a single thing. Like, it's just, it's not going great. And again, just bad luck. Especially that game can be sort of hard. If you've got a pilot, if the pilot skill on your mech isn't all that great, it's really hard to get kills. Or maybe I'm just terrible. That's a thing too. But so at the end of that session, I still hadn't done anything. So my friends were like, "Okay, we'll just do one more, and then we'll go game." And then I get into my second mech, my second big giant robot blows up, and then they just let you pick a new one. And so I did, and I really liked my new mech. And lo and behold, I got a couple of kills with it. And then I got a couple more kills with it. And I think, well, at the end of the third session, I was up to 3 kills, which was more than any of my other buddies had for the, at that time for the all of the sessions combined. And I was finally doing well, and I was rolling well, and I was just, it was just going really well. So my buddies, being very cool, said, "Yeah, we're not leaving while you're doing this well." So that was neat. So we bought in for 2 more sessions, and then by the end of it, I had ended up I had killed 7 big giant robots with my own big giant robot, and it was a lot of fun. One of the guys who works for Catalyst Game Labs, they're the people who produce BattleTech, actually gave me a little BattleTech pin for the ridiculousness of what I did, because I had 0 kills and then I had 7 all with 1 mech, and it was a lot of fun. It was really neat. BattleTech's a lot like golf in that when you go, you might do terrible for quite a long time, but when it goes really well, that's all you remember. So that was just, it was a blast. Then after that, we went and we got a nice dinner. We always do one nice dinner out when we're up at Gen Con, because usually we're living on granola bars and Pop-Tarts, because the food trucks at Gen Con are just insanely expensive. And usually the lines are ridiculously long. So we did one really nice dinner. I think it's the Granite City Brewery, which they have pretty good beer too. Not that I had any, of course. This is a family-friendly show, and Lord, I would never, ever, that you know of. So after dinner, we just we went back to the hotel, and we cracked open a bunch of our new games. What did I get? I got Dark Gothic, Shadows of Brimstone. Yeah, those are both from Flying Frog Games, and it was a good show for them. I picked up Vault Wars, and actually I picked up the beginner box set of BattleTech because I don't have that, and I hope to get the rest of my game group a little bit hooked on it, but we'll see how that goes. I got Sheriff of Nottingham because I just saw it on tabletop, and that actually looks like one I could get my non-gaming friends to possibly play. Maybe, I don't know. So it was a pretty good haul, and we just started playing, and we were, up till 2 o'clock in the morning, and just whatever games we had. Actually, one of our buddies had brought a game that he picked up at Gen Con last year, but hadn't really gotten to play, and so he was wanting to play with us, who I know how to play it. I've played it quite a bit, so we did a few learning games of that, and that game it's called Samurai Spirit. That game's a lot of fun, too. Based on the Legend of the Seventh Samurai, if you don't know. It's a cool legend, and it's a great movie. You should watch it. And that was my Gen Con. I mean, it doesn't sound like 4 days worth of stuff, but it was. I'm still exhausted. It's a week later since I went. And I'm still fighting the brain drain a little bit. Although one really cool thing did happen. The Shadows of Brimstone game I bought has a bunch of plastic miniatures because they're fun. Plastic's just a lot of fun. And the problem was they didn't come assembled. And it turns out that, you need to, cut them out of the sprues and use like an X-Acto knife to kind of scrape them off. Then you put them together, then you have to do this like special type of adhesive, and then spray that with something to make it all kind of adhere and congeal. And one of my friends who went with me did all of mine for me, and it was amazing. Like, he did me such a favor doing that, because if he hadn't, it would probably be another, like, things are just so busy in my life right now, it would probably be another 2 months before I ever even got around to doing it, if I ever got around to doing it at all. So I owe him big time for that. That was an amazing favor he did for me. So, thanks, Chad. And, well, that was kind of my rambling recitation of my weekend at Gen Con. I know this wasn't our typical Minecraft episode, and I apologize for that. I'm back full-time again next week, 4 full videos. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys check it out. And also, if you don't play tabletop games, trust me, there is a lot there to love. Websites like Board Game Geek can give you great places to start. If you've never done any tabletop gaming, look for things called gateway games that are games that non-tabletop gamers seem to get into and are, strike the right balance of novelty and ease that can kind of just, again, sort of ease somebody into gaming. So definitely check out some tabletop games. They're amazing. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you did, please leave a like. I know it's not a standard episode, but I really like to see those likes. I like to know that you guys are enjoying the videos. And next week, we're back full force. Talk to you guys later.